Anna Soubry has finally packed her bags and left the Conservative Party, and she's taking 2 Tory MPs with her to the new Labour Party. Anna Soubry is one of the most vocal anti-Brexit voices in Westminster, and indeed the Tory party, or at least she used to be, because today she announced that she's leaving the Conservative Party and taking 2 other Tory MPs with her. They're Sarah Wollaston and Heidi Allen, and they joined Soubry in writing a letter to Theresa May confirming their departure from the party. They even did that historic performance in the Commons where they go from one side of the house to the other, and they sat down, they even took selfies with each other. It was cringeworthy. And the 3 MPs wrote in their letter, they said that Brexit had now redefined the Conservative Party. They're probably forgetting about the fact that the British people told them to redefine themselves based on the result of that referendum, as well as undone all the efforts to modernise the party. They cited a shift to the right, and so now they're joining the Remainers in the newly formed independent group, or the new Labour Party, as I'm calling it now, because that's what it is. This is a big deal. Anna Soubry has been rumoured for a very long time to be considering leaving the Tory party. She's clearly against the party's agenda. She's clearly unwilling to help Theresa May get this deal through Parliament. And she's clearly going against the party's actual pledges in their manifesto in the last election, which said that they were committed to Brexit. Anna Soubry is clearly not committed to Brexit. And by the way, the fact that she is joining these people in the independent group shows that really the independent group is just another anti-Brexit party. I wonder if it's only a matter of time before the Liberal Democrats join them. And taking 2 other MPs with her, by the way, it's actually a really big blow. It means that the independent group now has a total of 11 MPs. They've actually got more than the Democratic Unionist Party, which is in government with the Conservative Party. And it's very likely that that number is going to grow in the coming weeks and months. Very likely indeed. Both sides, Tory and Labour, who've split to join this party, they're all saying that they've got colleagues who are going to come over. Some have warned that Corbyn could lose as many as 50 MPs. This is going to be a pretty big grouping. Currently, it's only registered as a business, which some people have had some concerns about. It means that they don't have to abide by electoral laws because they're not technically a party, but I suspect that they're gearing up to register as a political party soon. Anna Soubry said in her press release, her press conference today, she told the press that they're going to be out there speaking to the people to find out what they want in a centrist and moderate party. So they'll find out what the voters want, they'll kind of adapt to it, include their anti-Brexit message, and voila, they've got a political party with a message that beats Corbyn's extremism and anti-Semitism. And indeed, there could be a general election around the corner, so they're going to want to make this thing into a political party. Now, actually, let's talk about the potential of a general election at this point, because this formation of this new party to be does have some interesting implications. So, first of all, the Conservative Party and the DUP are actually at risk of losing their majority in the House of Commons. They are very, very, very close to losing that majority, potentially within days. Currently, the Tories have a majority thanks to the confidence and supply deal given to them by the Democratic Unionist Party. And with 3 MPs now gone from the Tories, that means the Tories and the DUP now have a majority of 6, and that's excluding Sinn Féin, who don't vote, and for obvious reasons, and of course the Speaker, and presuming that the Labour Party is going to win the upcoming by-election in Newport West because the MP died. That means that all they have to lose now is 3 more MPs, and the majority will be 0. If they lose 4 more MPs, that will give all the opposition parties a collective majority of 2, putting Theresa May in some very, very difficult water. Though in saying that, it's hardly like those Tory MPs were particularly helpful for the Conservatives anyway. So I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't actually make that much difference. Anna Soubry did say today that she's just going to be voting the same way she's always done. So it might not affect the Prime Minister too immediately, but in all likelihood, it could result in a new election. Mrs May's presumably been wanting to avoid another general election given how badly it went last time, but the defections could force her to take decisive action at this point and could persuade her to try and take advantage of Labour's weak position in the polls. I mean, sure, the Tories have lost some to the independent group, but it's definitely the Labour Party that's suffering the most right now because of this. In fact, a poll by YouGov shows that if the independent group stands candidates as a registered party and runs in the next general election, 14% of voters would support them. And that's only just right now. As they get more people, that's going to grow. That takes Labour's position in the polls down to 26%, and the Tories are pretty healthy comparatively 38%. Now, depending on how those votes are shared, depending on which sort of constituencies they're focused in, whether it's very broad like UKIP was, or whether it's very focused on individual constituencies, and it depends, of course, if the Tory defectors can win over more voters to the independent group, it could either mean that May gains a majority in the Commons, which she's going to want to do, or it could mean another hung parliament with no clear answer about which parties would work together, because the Tories won't work with Labour, Labour won't work with the Independents, and the Independents won't work with the Tories. So it could be a very, very interesting election indeed, but I think the most likely thing that would happen is that the Tories would win it, and they would position themselves as a Brexit party. And even at that point in an election like that, I even don't think that Nigel Farage's Brexit party would get much of a look in. The Tory party would sweep it, I think. Parliamentarians do think that another election could be on the cards. In fact, this is a very real consideration for a lot of people in Westminster. Labour MPs and peers are now worried that the Prime Minister could be tempted to exploit Labour's split and call for an election. Stuart Wood, who's a Labour peer as well as an academic from Oxford, has said that defections from Labour had, quote, significantly raised the chances of a snap election being called. What's funny about these defections is that Anna Soubry inadvertently might have actually paved the way for Theresa May to call and win a general election, allowing her to weed out all the anti-Brexit MPs who won't vote for her cop-out Brexit deal, and potentially allow Theresa May to pass a deal with the EU through the Commons, meaning Anna Soubry could have helped Theresa May. Poor old Anna, always shooting herself in the foot, eh? We're not funded by the government, we don't have big sponsors, and we certainly don't have massive donors. If you'd like to help support our work, please go to rebeldonations.com/thebuck.